I'm going to be talking about bringing the education of racism and discrimination. We passed the 13th Amendment abolishing slavery. We marched in Selma during the Civil Rights Movement. We outlawed discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, and national origin. And now we have elected a black president. So the fight against racism is over, right? Well, I'm here to tell you that it's not. We should be educating kids more about the realness of racism and other forms of discrimination. People more educated about discrimination and racism can participate in intelligent discussions about equitable treatment. Looking for an individual to blame when things go wrong does not create a positive change. When injustice occurs with a population more educated about race and race issues, we can prevent bias within criminal and civil justice systems. People who have been taught to be racist and to hate others can also be taught to accept others. Now that we have a black president, many people think that racism is no longer a problem in America. Clearly, this is not the case. 2 years ago, when I was in 6th grade, I was struggling in school. My grades were low. I decided to study really hard for big social studies tests to raise my grades. When my teacher passed the test back, I was ecstatic to see an A with a golden star next to it. However, my heart quickly sunk when my teacher pulled me aside and questioned me about my success. Cheating is not the answer, she said. A week ago, an African American boy in my neighborhood was accused of being suspicious while taking photos of flowers for a school assignment. Assuming that the boy was trouble, police officers quickly showed up, immediately took out their batons, and repeatedly questioned the student for an hour. Do these situations have to do with race? I say they do. Discrimination is still infecting our society, and education specifically created to fight racism is the solution. Nelson Mandela once said, "No one is born hating another person because of their color, the color of their skin, or their background, or their religion. People learn to hate, and if people can learn to hate, they can be taught to love. For love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite." Mandela expresses that the key to ending discrimination is through education in schools. Often, when people discriminate against one another, they're not even aware they're doing it. Implicit bias has become a part of their mindset. Racist people make negative assumptions about a category of people based on a single negative event, an upbringing based on racist teachings, or a society that teaches or allows racism to invade various parts of its culture. People often don't know the difference between their assumptions and real facts. Racist implicit bias leads to false assumptions about African American intelligence and the behavior of African Americans related to criminal activity. To deal with implicit bias, we must teach people to accept one another and think logically and empathically about others. In addition to teaching about implicit bias, lessons about discrimination must include discussions with concrete examples of events involving injustice. This would allow kids to hear their classmates' perspectives and learn about their personal experiences with discrimination along with the history of racism that still affects our society today. We can really make a difference in this world. If people are more educated and have more knowledge about discrimination and racism, the problems we are having in our schools and in our society can be lessened. Personally, I feel that we are all one. And when someone is being discriminated against, we all hurt. Laws requiring this type of education are the solution. Thank you.